lesson, we're going to take a look at a third degree style solo that I created in the style that you hear off from the Cradle. Now, I took inspiration from the album version, which is kind of jazzy and laid back, and also a few different live performances that I found that are a little bit more aggressive and kind of blended that style together, you know, not just staying with a simple jazzy feel, although it's about the same tempo, just a little bit more aggressive sounding than just completely laid back sound that you hear on the album. After listening to a few of the live versions, I decided to go that route. It just gives it a little bit more aggressive sound, and I took some of his other style playing from other slow blues tunes you hear on the album. So I think it came out pretty good, but I thought there's a lot of things that you can take away from learning this style of slow blues. Okay, let's go ahead and break the solo part down for you. I've divided it up into 13 separate licks. We're in the key of D, and lick 1 sounds like this. Okay, so for lick 1, once again, we're playing this in the key of D. We're 12/8 slow blues here, and we're playing over the 1 chord to start out, and the 4 chord is coming in, the G, the 1, 4, 5. We got D, G, and A, all 3 chords that we're dealing with, 1, 4, 5. So I'm doing this cool thing that you hear him doing on the album. He goes back to this all the time. This 12 on the B string with your 2nd finger and 13th fret of the high E with your 3rd finger. These 2 notes here. You hear lots of blues players playing that, but he kind of uses that as a go-to on this tune I found. And it's coming on the 7th count, so we're just going to rest at the end. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just slightly bend it up, just a touch. And then we're going to go down the minor pentatonic scale. You know, those two notes are just derived from 1 note of the minor pentatonic and 1 note of the major pentatonic here. And you hear that all the time in blues. You can think about it as one of these 7th chords. There's so many different ways you can think about it. You know, Red House. When it goes down 1 time, I kind of think about it with that, except it's just eliminating this 1 note. You know, it's kind of like a diminished arpeggio here. I've never really thought about it like that. I just think of it easy as 13th fret from the minor pentatonic scale. You add the 12th fret on the B and then bend them. That's the way I usually think of it. But you can technically dissect it if you want to. So you got that, and then we're just going to walk down the minor pentatonic scale. 10, 13, high E, B. Again. Now we're going to walk down. 13, 12, 10, 12, B, G string, and then a quick hammer to 10 to 11. That's our minor 3rd, major 3rd on our G string. And then that roll down with your 3rd finger, 12th fret on the D, 12th fret on the A, and play on the meat so you can roll it over on your D to A string. So that's played kind of lazy, and I'm not striking the strings terribly hard. I'm accenting the first part of it. Being really easy with the picking. Also, my hand is not like clamped down, you know, like this. I got it really open to give a real open sound. Okay, the next step on the 9th count. Right after the 9th count, we're going to play this little phrase. So straight from the minor pentatonic scale, using basically all downstrokes. And you get a certain sound when you use all downstrokes. Starting with the 12th fret of the D string, then 10, 12 on the G, 10, 13 on the B, Then bend up that 13th fret of the B and let it hang. Now 10 on the high, pull off 13 to 10. Now bend up 12th fret on the G string, pull off 12 to 10, 12, 10, 12. Slowly. Really cool lick right there as well. And like I said, it sounds really cool if you use only downstrokes. You get a certain tone, when you're using just downstrokes. Okay, that's it for lick number 1. Okay, lick 2 sounds like this. Okay, lick 2, a lot of classic Clapton things happening in it. Starting on our 12th fret over A string. Then we're adding this note derived from the major pentatonic scale here, 9th fret. You hear B.B. King commonly using that pattern. That thing. So 12, 9, 12. This is more of a major sound. And then we're adding minor third, major third, 10, 11 on the G, 10, 12. That's again the major pentatonic. Now borrow your first finger, high E, B string on the 10th fret. Now bend up slightly that 13th fret of the high E. Now 10th fret of the high E. Bend up 13 on the B. Now 10 on the high E. Now you play this phrase. Again, now pull off 12, 13, 13, 12 on the G. Hammer on pull off, 10, 13, 10 on the B. 12, 10. Pull off, 12. Roll your third finger. Now 10 on the G. And this Chuck Berry type of move is what I like to call it. Slightly bend that 12th for the G string. Borrow your first finger on the 10th fret. B, E, B, 10th fret. Slide 13 to 15 on the B. And let that sustain and give some cool Clapton vibrato. All kind of arm vibrato. And for more about that, check out my Play Like Clapton 1 course. So really cool lick here, blending major and minor pentatonic in one position. I love using that phrase. That's just a cool phrase to play over any slow blues, blending, in the first position, minor pentatonic, 12, 9, 12. Now we're going minor, major, major. This is neither major or minor, just 10, 10. Now we're going to blend that minor back in. And let that 13th fret hang on the B string. Now you got this fast phrase. Really cool phrase there. That'll make an excellent exercise if you're not really good at playing that, especially this phrase here on the starts on the next bar. That's a fun one to play to me. Sounds really cool over any type of a slow blues. Okay, that's it for lick 2. All right, lick 3 sounds like this. Okay, so for lick number 3, we're going to play over the 4 chord right now. And so we're jumping to our second position minor pentatonic. And, Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan has their certain kind of a sound when they play in the second position minor pentatonic. You know that? That type of a sound. Clapton has his own type of a thing that he does, Of course, it's derived from Albert King, but he put his own type of a spin on it. Kind of strikes things differently, not quite as intense. And I'm using all downstrokes again. Kind of accenting each one of those notes. So we're playing 15, 13, 15, bend it up, let that hang. bring it down. Now we're going to accent these 15, 13, 15, 13, 15. Now bend 15. Now this classic Clapton thing, 13, 15, quick hammer. That's just a classic Clapton move that you hear him doing all the time. So it's just, 13, 15, quick hammer. Now we're going to play 13, 15, 13, 15, 15 twice on our B. Heavy vibrato. So that's the main takeaway is this. That'd be a great exercise to do. And that's a simple lick to do over any slow blues. If you want to sound more like this era Clapton. Repeating it over and over is something he does as well. We'll get to a lick like that later on. And I'm also, not striking with my pick straight down. I'm striking at an angle and you get a different tone. If I did this, upstroke. See, all I did was turn the pick to give a different tone. That's a huge thing that he does that you might not be aware of. And if you want to get that round kind of sound he does, like these. Stevie Ray Vaughan is the same thing. I'm not changing how hard I'm picking. I'm just changing the angle. Watch. So that's another thing to take note of as well that he does a lot. It makes your playing sound more dynamic when you just turn that pick different ways. You can just sit there and do that. It's an easy way to change your tone, make it more warm by not doing anything. Then if you want it to stand out, just kind of gradually move your pick. Like that. It's a cool technique to use and not very difficult, to put into your playing.